Hi Pisces, welcome to your reading. So I will start this reading by saying that I can already feel that it's going to be a dark reading. I think that this reading is not going to be for a lot of people. It may be just a bit too much to handle actually, this reading. So just leave the reading if you don't feel up for talking about some dark timelines here. So let me show you the cards that came out. The first two cards were the Phoenix together with the Fire Ant. And so I feel like this is one timeline, and it is the timeline that most people are on these days. That's what I'm feeling. And what I was hearing when I pulled these cards was that this is the timeline of insignificance. And so we are being pulled into this timeline when we are being driven by energies that are insignificant in a sense at this point in time. And so what does that mean? The explanation I was getting is that most people at this point in time are so intertwined with thoughts and beliefs and desires that are about to move out of matter. And so that means that it's a part of the old system, and so it's about to collapse and fall, and it is insignificant in a sense. It's not the path of evolution. And so that's why it's like these things being committed, being convinced by these old beliefs, these old thoughts and narratives and desires, it takes us into this timeline. And so I feel very much that this timeline, the essence of it is that of war in a sense, or it's that of convincing others, trying to win, trying to be like the only one, kind of like the God in a sense. This timeline is actually a timeline of the Old Testament, that image of masculinity that has been with humanity for thousands of years at this point in time. And it has been very much centered around being this big light that is always right, to the point that what you say is going to become reality. A lot of people are still kind of in belief of this timeline. That is the matrix that they are creating from. And so this timeline is for that. That's what I'm getting. So let's talk about the other timeline here. Like I said, this is not a reading for everyone. The other timeline that came through is the Panther, together with the Black Egg, together with the Frog, and then we have the Bee. And so this is talking about people that are with the Panther. Yeah, let's talk about the Panther first. It's talking about people that are already, in a sense, shamans. They can walk between worlds. They can see in the dark. And they have awoken their inner fierceness, like their inner viciousness. Most people would call this timeline evil. But that's the thing, when we start to kind of go deeper into the spiritual awakening, it's like we go back in time. And so we go back to timelines that, based on our current standpoint, our current perception, it reads as evil because it's primordial, it is denser, it is more violent, it's, the light is dimmer. But it's still a part of our root system. And so it's still kind of, it holds importance, it is part of our foundation, and it will never really go away. It will always be a part of our foundation. And so to kind of know thyself, all that you are, we have to go back as well and face these more evil timelines and feel these feelings of being evil, like feeling the feelings of these old timelines. And so, like I said, this timeline is for someone that has been doing that work, and they are about to open actually another door in this work, and they are about to enter an even deeper level. And when I'm tuning into this egg, this is definitely evil, what rests in here. It's definitely an ancient spirit, dark spirit, that type of thing. And so if you resonate with this timeline, what is coming through as super important at this point in time, and it's coming through from this bee. And so I feel like this is some kind of a guide that is available to people that are on this timeline. What is important if you want to keep your health is to face this type of evil with an open heart. It's like you cannot forget your innocence when facing this type of evil, and in a sense invoking these energies of the past. Because if you do, it's like with the frog here, it's like that dark water, that dark energy that we're tuning into eventually becomes a part of our astral body, our emotional body. And so if we don't have another part within ourselves that is of a, in a sense, higher realm, of a future timeline that is like coming in, something that can balance out this past, dense, dark, evil timeline. If we don't have that, then it's like our bodies can't handle it, because it's like too far back. It's becoming, it's death, you know. This is death energy that we're channeling when we go back. It's called evil for a reason, you know. And so it can just become a bit too much for our bodies or our psyche even. And so yeah, there's also something with the throat chakra and about what you're tuning into. And there's something about not being trapped in the underworld, not trapping yourself in the underworld. Again, the willingness to be innocent, the willingness to lose is very much what allows you to keep your dark powers, but at the same time also keep your life. So that's what I'm feeling, is that people that have this type of dark power, they're going to be put under a lot of testing, initiations, so that in a sense nature will see like kind of everything, or it's difficult to describe with words because this is not the timeline of the Old Testament. Like, this is not the timeline of the old God that only creates with words. This is the timeline of evolution, is what I'm hearing. It's a timeline where you will be judged based on who you are, like what you have invested into, the choices that you've made, the vibrations and energies that you've chosen to bow down to and, you know, be pulled in by. And so this is not something that can be faked or tricked or lured by words. It is what it is. And so that's why it's like just a little bit of caution right now to make sure that you are able to be, you know, with the be, to be still, to stand still, to surrender everything, like your, in a sense, your ego, you know, your desire to win, your desire to be seen as something, you know, as an image of the old God, in a sense. To be able to hold this kind of dark power, this kind of elemental root power, power of the root, power of the past, the ability to see within the root system. I feel like it's very important that we also learn how to balance that out with timelines of the future that are innocent. They are not powerful yet, because they are not present on earth yet, they have not come in yet. And so channeling these timelines of the future is not going to give you earthly power at this time. People aren't going to be even understanding you. It's almost like you will be invisible because you're not going to be triggering these timelines of insignificance, you know. And so many people will just pass right by because they are headed towards this. But yeah, that's the guidance that's coming through. So this is definitely a timeline of surrender. It's definitely speaking about people that you're going to have a lot of power in the future, but it's going to be balanced. It's going to be, I'm hearing green. You know, this is the path of the green era, the era of the heart, the era of sustainability, you know, the era of win-win-win. You know, good for nature, good for you, good for me. We all win. So let's pull some cards as well and see what comes through here. Let's pull for the Phoenix and the Fire Ant first, just specifically. I don't know, I felt guided to do it like that. I don't usually, but let's pull for that first. Phoenix and Fire Ant, what can we expect? Ooh, lots of cards coming out. Yeah, underneath the deck was the Son of Swords. So these are people that they're not tuned into their feminine energies at all. They don't give their feelings much value. It doesn't matter. They don't give the earth much value, health, nature. It doesn't matter to them. What matters are their convictions. Oh, why am I getting so hoarse? That's interesting. Yeah. There's also something about a lot of people really do not want to hear this because this is so prevalent. You know, there is actually so many people that is in this category right now, and I feel like many people don't want to hear this because, again, they're still just so convicted and so obsessed with winning, and they're not willing to let their egos be shed. It's like they're willing to do whatever it takes to win. It doesn't matter if they destroy nature. It doesn't matter if they destroy the ocean or hurt other people's. It's like very, very convicted. That's what I'm feeling. So let's see, some cards falling out here. Oh, interesting. So the thing is that I wanted actually to pull for the Fire Ant, but I don't think that happened. I will try to show it to you actually. So I feel like I was kind of tempted to try to control how the cards would fall. I was like, I'm gonna pull just for the Phoenix and the Fire Ant. Didn't seem like it happened like that. So what was interesting was that the card that was in the middle between these two piles were the King of Swords, or was the King of Swords. So this is an energy that has been coming through a lot for me. To me, this speaks about like the heart opening, heart awakening, and the ability to overcome duality. So to create things that are for the highest good of all. You know, it's union energy. Like I said, it's not just creating for me, my ego, like the fact that I want to win and I want to be glorious and I want to kind of put myself in the image of the patriarchal God, you know. It's having a perspective that is just a bit bigger than that and just a bit more inclusive than that, and realizing that we are all a part of everything, you know. And so I think that if you're watching this video, of course you already know this, because I think that the people that are watching this are much more on the like you have a spiritual practice, I think. So the interesting thing was that this fell in between the two piles, and so I feel like this is actually something that can, in a sense, it's a bridge. It's a bridge for the people that at this point in time are trapped within the Fire Ant Phoenix energy, within the energy of insignificance, and they are like very much pulled in by that. But it's a way for the people that have done a lot of this work and have also chosen innocence. You know, you've also chosen to balance yourself out, to keep your health, to restore the health of the earth. This is the portal through which you can reach these people and give them a choice. It's not about convincing them. It's not about saving them. It's about giving people a choice. That's what I'm feeling. And I also do feel like the King of Swords is very much maybe using these bees, some kind of spiritual guide, some kind of, I'm hearing spiritual vessel to communicate with you. So that is interesting. Okay, let's look at this darker timeline now, like what I feel is probably you. Wow, Hanged Man. I got that feeling. It's like needing to be so freaking pure, like so freaking surrendered, to be able to kind of hold this type of power without destroying our bodies, without destroying the earth. Yeah, the Hanged Man talks about, you know, not moving forward until we can sense that we are absolutely in alignment. It's like not moving forward until we are, in a sense, pure. So that is also really about tuning into the throat chakra and being from the soul, like speaking from the soul. And I mean, that transcends good and bad. When we are coming from our unique soul, this is more like our higher self. We're not channeling old timelines of patriarchy. We're not seeing things as good and bad. We are seeing that everything is relative. You know, it's a matter of time and place. And at certain times, you know, these types of energies were actually the path of evolution. You know, it was good. It was what was coming in to allow us to move into the next level. And so in a way, it is an ancient god. Now, looking at it from the eyes of the current, it's evil, but once it was good. And so it's like, to understand the relativity of Earth is like we have to be able to see that and feel that without letting it fully overtake us and pull us back to that time, because that's not where our soul is going, you know. And so we will lose our powers, it's like we will lose our earthly powers, we will lose our health if we just allow that old darkness to overtake us. And so that's what I'm feeling. Maybe before you open this egg, this primordial force, really go within. That's what I'm feeling. Really, don't be afraid to take your time. Don't be afraid to look deeply. Don't be afraid to, I'm hearing, ransack your heart. So yeah, clear messages coming through there. Let's jump into the other timeline now, the Phoenix and the Fire Ants. Wow, yeah. So telling, the Tower and the Two of Wands in reverse. So like I spoke about, this is a timeline of people that they're refusing to give up their old crown. You know, they're refusing to give up their old identities. They're refusing to let go of their beliefs, their egos. It's like they're holding on to it so tight. They're not able to zoom out and see the bigger picture at this point in time. But that is what I feel that the King of Swords can help them with. And so yeah, there's something interesting. I feel like for you that are watching this video, I think that you're meant to play out this role of the King of Swords in the collective. And I feel like opening this final egg here is gonna provide you with some of that grounding. It's like you're gonna make yourself real. Suddenly I feel like you're gonna be seen, even though your vibration is not really a match somehow to these people. I don't know, there's something about like some circles of time that is happening. Like, yeah, it's like when you open this egg and you are pure, it's almost like you're gonna be given some type of magic, some type of abilities to bend time in a specific way. It's like bending different timelines in a weird way. I don't know what this is. You know, personally, I don't really read a lot of books and things on magic or doing rituals or like bending reality, because I've always felt that I want things to come organically. You know, it's like I very much felt this guidance saying that don't be too greedy, you know, don't be too desire driven on this path of awakening your abilities to see in the dark. You know, you gotta be able to be willing to lose it all, you know, at any time, if that is what it requires, you know. And so I don't know about this type of magic. I haven't encountered it before. I don't know what type of magic that is specifically. I can't really pinpoint it, but it looks like some kind of bending on time, so that suddenly you will become visible to these people, and you will give them a choice. It's like you can share about things, and I feel like, again, it's not trying to convince anyone or anything. It's more about just painting the picture, you know, talking about relativity. It's not about right and wrong. It's about the right energy at the right time at the right place. You know, it's relativity. It's knowing your palette. Here with the rainbow sword, it's like all the way back in history up until the present moment, and also into the future. And so that is pretty amazing. But I'm also curious, like, yeah, the Hierophant also came out here. Ooh, and the Mother of Swords. So we have like, but we're missing the Page of Swords. So I don't know, let's pull again and see what we can get. More guidance, please. What do we need to know? Many cards coming out again. Eight of Swords. So there's a change coming in. I'm feeling the resemblance there. Yeah, I feel like you're just dropping a lot of this insignificance, actually. Like the insignificance that belongs to this timeline. I don't know. There's something happening. Some kind of lightning strikes you suddenly. This could also be you yourself initiating yourself. You know, you directing lightning to initiate certain parts potentially of your being and awaken them. And I feel like when the time is right, when you're doing this from a pure heart, all of these old swords are just going to come out, and you're not going to feel the fire. You're not going to feel the pain of the fire. You're not going to feel your energy isn't going to be, your light isn't going to be dimmed by humiliation. You know, you're not going to feel, it's like you're still just going to be, your heart is still just going to be open. You're still going to be innocent, even if people humiliate you, even if people, you know, prove you wrong in a sense, because it's like you're no longer bound to that timeline. You are channeling evolution. And with that timeline, you just see that there is no such thing as right or wrong. It's just a lack of understanding, a lack of seeing the bigger picture. And so you forgive the people, of course, that are on this timeline, because you see, like, the reason that they don't see the bigger picture is because they have currently put themselves in a position of insignificance. And so they are just losing their energy constantly. They're not able to hold their energy. They're not able to be still. They're not able to meditate. They're not able to build their own mind. It's like the energy of the vampire, being thirsty, really just wanting to continue to move forward on the same timeline. And so I feel like you're not gonna be, it's like your emotional body, it's like you are protected. Also with the egg, that's interesting way of seeing it. It's like you have some type of protection around you, maybe. Some type of primordial protection. Could be like a dragon. I'm seeing kind of like a mix of a dragon and a snake inside this egg. Just has that type of vibe that you hear that sound, like of a dragon and a snake. So yeah, there's gonna be a sudden change. Suddenly you're ready. You're in it. You're channeling the Father of Swords. And then there were 3 other cards as well. So this was the 7 of Pentacles, by the way. And I'm just really looking at the lines. This sudden change is like, or maybe, wow, yeah. I'm seeing it. It's like you've been moving back in time. Like step down, step down, step down, step down, step down. You've been moving into the ancient layers of evil to bring light back to it. And so it's almost like you've been stepping down, you've been stepping down, you've been stepping down. And when you've been doing that, you've been very much held in this position of the hangman. Again, it's a position of looking to the demonic, right? It's like it's the inverted cross in a sense. It's like Satan. He's looking at the Satan, the darkness, the evil, to understand it, to bring light to it, to give it choice, you know, on a spiritual level, liberate it, balance it out. And so you've been walking down, but now suddenly it's going to be like, whew, something happens. There's this switch. That's what I'm feeling. The cards that came out: 9 of Pentacles, the Fool, 5 of Wands. So the 9 of Pentacles and the Fool, I feel like, yeah, very easy to understand. You know, like I said, this change will initiate some kind of energetic boundary around you, to where you're it's like you're gonna feel everything, all the feelings that exist, but it doesn't penetrate you, if that makes sense. If you know, you know. It's describing this I think like this state of, I'm hearing the Solomon seal. So I guess it's the state of the pentagram, of having this type of spiritual protection. Also, actually, this is the state, I think, of the oracle. So the old feminine, you know, it's like the ability to be nothing. And that ability to be nothing opens you up to the all. But when you start to feel the all, you know, it's so important that you don't just start to like randomly act on these feelings, you know. You cannot have an ego that wants to win or wants to be something. You have to be comfortable with just being alive. You have to be comfortable through and through with people not understanding what you are, who you are, because they don't have the mind to see, you know, they don't have the eyes to see yet. And so I feel like that's what these 2 cards are talking about, that you know, you become comfortable with the 0 state, you become pure, and as a result, it's like you're gaining the ability to walk into thin air and to walk on water. But the 5 of Wands, I don't really understand. Okay, so there was something to do with the Hierophant, also 5. I'm hearing a teacher on many levels. So yeah, maybe, oh yeah, it's 5. So it's the 5-pointed star. Again, pentagram, the seal of Solomon, the 5 chakras. You know, you see here with the sword, the 5 different colors of the chakras up from the root to the throat. So maybe you're going to be working with, or you have the potential to, you could, if you wanted to, you could actually be a teacher for people on all of these different levels. Yeah, and I'm also feeling my hands getting really warm. And so I feel maybe for some of you, you're even developing like some kind of healing properties. This is like a very powerful reading. And so I just want to know something about the time. Like, when is this going to come into play? Most likely, is it following? I feel like it may be following some kind of collective cycle, you see. That's why I want to ask this. When is this gonna materialize? Be very, very careful. Like, if you manifest any kind of, even if it's just like a small health issue, something tiny, like, be on it. Watch it. Be on it. And figure out why that is. What is it that you have to let go of? You know, what is it that you have to shed and, in a sense, burn? So that you can continue to uphold your energetic purity and the integrity of your body, your nature. That's what I'm feeling. Anything else? Oh no, the time, please. Give us a break. No. Yeah. High Priestess, strength. I actually maybe feel that it's coming for the Leo full moon. So I'm filming this a few days before the Leo full moon. I'm not sure when I will publish this. But yeah, I'm also getting the 9 of Wands and the 8 of Wands. And so you've built it. It's going to be like a sudden change. And yeah, oh yeah, it's the end of the old sun. You know, it's the end of the patriarchal Christianity, if you will. It's the end of the timeline of the Old Testament. It's coming into its closing circle, is what I'm hearing. Closing cycle, maybe. And so that is what like the full moon in Leo represents. It's like wrapping up, ending, that it's reached its full capacity, and now that power is gonna start to diminish. That's what I'm getting, and become more and more insignificant here on earth. And so that's when people that have done this type of work are gonna start to be initiated into this path of king. But it really requires a purity of heart, surrendered. I'm hearing serenity, and just this deep inner eye. Again, I'm getting that the point of zero, you know, the ability to be the zero and to still have your energy protected. So I'm gonna end it there, Pisces. Yeah, take care of yourself, take care of your health, and thank you for the work that you're doing. Bye.